Hood rich, hood rich, hood rich, hood
Hey,
Hey, we're handing out free water. Everyone come get it.
Water, yeah, water, goddamn, water, water, okay, water, what, water, drip, water, splash, water. I drip in your like water.
that
drip,
joint was
splash on your with the water,
delicious.
splash. Water, water, water.
This engagement season, get your significant other not just what they want, but what they need. With plenty of nutritious nothingness, it is the perfect gift for that special someone. Get her water, the ageless wonder from Earth. Water. H2. Oh, yes.
So when I was born, the doctors knew right away that I had problems. I had medical conditions. My condition specifically is spina bifida. It's essentially when you're developing and your vertebrae in your spine don't necessarily end up being abnormal. And so what happened was kind of like a buildup of fluid ended up like around the site of the abnormality, and it caused for my nerves, like nerve endings, to kind of proliferate from my skin and like be exposed, which calls for like my loss of sensation in my left leg and inhibited bone growth in that leg. And I also have scoliosis. I was born with it, so I was aware most of my life. I guess it didn't really kick in that I was different until like I started school, because my family would never treat me differently. As a kid, they implanted a rod in my back that would need to be changed as I grew, so it can correct like the spine as I started growing. So that required a lot of surgeries. I lost count. The biggest problem with the surgeries is probably recovery, because I wasn't able to be up and around like I usually am.
Who are your greatest supporters?
I'd say there's three now. It's my girlfriend, Cecilia, and my parents. Parents would always take me to my doctor's appointments. Something that I still appreciate from my mom is every time I had a surgery, she'd always just sleep in a cot next to my hospital bed. They put in the most effort you can possibly think of, and 1,000 times more. My childhood was fun. I'd say Teen Excellence Award, but that doesn't have to go in there. I made friends pretty quickly, and I always had my brother. We went into school together, and we were in a lot of the same classes growing up. The worst part about school was getting up in the morning. That's it. I had a lot of fun hanging out with my friends. I really enjoyed going to the shore as a kid, jumping in the beach. My grandparents had a pool. Loved hanging out with my dog. I participated in the Special Olympics for a year. I won 4 gold medals. Something I liked a lot better was I was able to participate in the Pennsylvania Center for Adaptive Sports, which was a lot more competitive feeling and got you like a little more intense, like skiing. I got to enjoy like pretty intense cycling and rowing programs, which I got to be a part of. At Rowan, I've taken a big interest in research, biomedical research. So I've been working in a couple different labs. I'm a translational biomedical science major. We work on the herpes virus. I've worked in a microbiology lab. We work on like E. coli and Staph aureus, big in like MRSA infections. I've also gotten to work in a materials science lab, which is a physics lab. We got to make antibacterial coatings for like surgical implants. I'm a senior and I graduate in a week. I've had some run-ins with the biomedical field. Had a lot of surgeries. I want to impact that in my own way. I want to, contribute to the progression of the medical field and science itself. Coming from a small town with not a lot of like diverse thought, I kind of knew coming into Rowan that I was going to have a more of a diverse experience, and I think that I've achieved it and I've had it. In that way, I was very happy that I went to Rowan. I already have a job lined up as a technical operations specialist at a biotech in the Navy Yard. It's called Wuxi. But my longer term plans, I plan on going to grad school after a year or two, make some money. Graduate school, probably a PhD program within the city. So something that advice that I would give would be to set goals and to always test yourself, always push yourself to the next limit, For example, go to grad school, go be, some sort of an engineer or a writer or a journalist. Set your goal, push yourself until you achieve that goal, and then set another one. Set a harder one. Keep testing yourself, keep making yourself better. And, it's keep putting the effort in because, it's not going to get handed to you. Essentially, pick a goal, find a way to make it there. Don't let anything stop you until you finally, reach it, and then set another one, the more difficult one, and keep testing yourself. It's how you stay. It's how you stay, at your peak.
Hey, where are you? The party's about to start. Come on, where are you?
Where are you? The party's about to start.
I've been waiting for you for hours.
Where are you? The party's about to start.
Dude, what are you doing?
Don't worry about it.
Do you feel it? Do you feel it in the air? Do you feel it? Do you feel it? I can feel it in the
Okay, so when I was doing my 6 hours for my permit, I did it in a Ford Fusion. It was a red Ford Fusion. And on my last day of my last 2 hours, he dropped me off here and I started like playing Xbox or whatever. An hour later, my mom gets home and I look outside and that red Ford is still in the driveway. And I'm like, Mom, this is so weird, but he's still here. It's been like an hour. Why is he still at our house? I'm so freaked out. I'm calling the cops. My mom was like, no, that's your new car. I got you a Ford Focus. It looked exactly like the old one. I thought that man was stalking me because he was kind of a creepy dude. Yeah, it's a great car. It rattles when it drives. The brakes squeak. You know, it's got some flaps kind of hanging off of it. The trunk, when you open it, doesn't like pop open, just stays. And you have to kind of dig in there with your fingernails and then bring it up. My favorite thing, PD is jumping. My favorite thing is that, say hi, PD. The favorite thing is that the door, if it's locked or unlocked, like it doesn't matter. It takes 2 pulls to open. So the first pull is to wake it up, and then the second one, that'll actually open it. And people will be like, oh, Ben, unlock your car, dude. And it is unlocked. You just have to pull it twice. So that's kind of how you can tell if someone's a veteran in my car. Because, like, you know, they'll just automatically pull it twice. My back left window just doesn't work. So if you roll it down, it doesn't go down. And so you have to roll it back up. Because if you leave it in the down position, once you close the door, it just falls. Yeah, I don't love it that much. It's my first car. I guess, like, it's because, like, you know, your first one, your first love. But I'd trade it for pretty much everything, you know. It's really loud and annoying. It doesn't have heat, you know. There's a bunch of trash in the trunk. It looks like a dumpster. I did that. It's not the car's fault. My car is, like, half broken. You know, it whistles and squeaks and stuff. Totally runs fine though. It scares people though, but you know, she's all I got. Oh, wait, there is one more thing.
Oh.
This was a gift from Mike. I always keep it in the back, face down. Framed Pinkerton.
Oh, the best Weezer album.
Yeah. The best B-sides, too.
Oh, 100%.
And there's the All Shook Up script, worst show ever.
Mm-hmm.
But let's end on a good note with Pinkerton.
Yeah, it's fine.
And that's Aurora.
The Diocese of Camden had a special education program run by the Office of Catholic Schools for many years. The program was based in several grammar schools, Holy Peter High School and Camden Catholic High School. This program was important because it offered Catholic school education to students with learning disabilities. In 2010, the Diocese of Camden turned the learning program over to the school. Camden Catholic High School named our program the Macaulay Program in honor of Mother Catherine Macaulay, the founders of the Sisters of Mercy. Mother Macaulay and the Sisters of Mercy believe that education is an important part of everyone's life. The Macaulay Program continues to grow and thrive at CCHS, preparing students for post-secondary education.
The goals of the Macaulay Program are to make sure our students are educated, well-rounded, and of course safe and feel comfortable in the environment that is Camden Catholic. Simple predicate is the main verb or verb phrase. The way you get into the Macaulay Program is the same way that any student gets into Camden Catholic. You fill out the application. Some students take the HSPT, some don't have to, but we also make sure that if you have a service plan or an IEP, an individualized education plan, we look that over and we go from there. The subject. Do not include the subject when we're talking about the complete predicate here. Usually we walk around the orchard waving. All right, you said. This was a tricky one.
Bring a big appetite.
Bring a big appetite. There's a subject. It's understood. Okay, it's kind of a command. You bring a big appetite, right? We talked about that yesterday. For a variety of classes. Freshman year, they take reading, pre-algebra, English. They also take gym with the mainstream students. They take religion or sacraments. They also take world geography and general science. And then moving up every year, they either take morality, social justice, those types of classes for religion. The same titles as the mainstream kids do. The reading level is just a little bit different. Science, they take biology, and the other course is earth science. And then the other program, we teach Algebra 1 Part 1, Algebra 1 Part 2, and geometry, and then practical math for the consumer. And then we also teach, what else do I teach? U.S. Government, U.S. History 1 and 2. And I think that's it's a good mix of classes that the mainstream kids take and that we teach in our program. But a lot of our students do take mainstream classes starting sophomore year. Well, I bleed green, so it's just an easy phrase to always say when somebody asks me that kind of question. My favorite part is, honestly, every year I have a new favorite memory. So I can't ever say something was my favorite because starting from when I went here to now, everything's been my favorite. I've always had a smile on my face, and we can always have our bad days, but I feel like coming here every day makes it that much better. But why? You have to include everything. All the complete predicate. So that is part of it at the beginning. The biggest challenge I've faced is probably the different levels of disabilities that we bring in, but I don't consider that a challenge. I actually consider that worthwhile to me. I think if I'm able to make a change and to help these students who have learning disabilities learn a different way, succeed, then to me it's never a challenge, it's always a success. When is it occurring? In the morning. The first time I knew I wanted to be a teacher was in grade school, actually. But then in 8th grade, I had the opportunity to go to a school with students who had severe learning disabilities. And from that point on, I just knew students with learning disabilities were the coolest kids ever. So that's how I knew. My neighbor Matt takes out his fishing gear.
Takes out.
All right, Ariana, sure. What is it? Takes. Very good. Okay, 8. He cleans his gear. See, I don't consider any of this hard work because every day I walk in this building and I have a blast with my students. So to say hard work, not even close. It's just fun for me. And what makes it fun and worthwhile is because I get to see the kids grow up before my eyes, and I see a lot of them succeed, like yourself.
Hi, my name is Kelly Spadero, and I directed this film about the Macaulay Program. I did this film on the Big Hot program because it's special to me, and I remember coming into Camden Catholic and I wasn't as confident, but when I came here, I was welcomed with open arms with everybody. The Big Hot program, it means so much to me because I'm a senior in this program, and I've gone all 4 years here: freshman, sophomore, junior, and now senior. I wanted to do this film because to show everybody what the McCall program is, because not everybody at Camden Catholic knows what the McCall program really is, and I wanted to show that people who have disabilities, that people know about the international program, but not so much about the McCall program, and it means a lot to me because, like I said, I'm a senior in this program, and I have grown in so many ways. The Macaulay program is something very special here at Camden Catholic, and it was founded by Mother Catherine Macaulay. It founded of Sisters of Mercy, and it's just like she was a beautiful example, and to have that her name, her last name, under the program makes us really special as well. So I hope you enjoyed this film, and hope one day you'll be a part of it as well.
I still remember the first time I came to America. My heart was filled with curiosity and fear of the unknown future. Time difference was the first thing I suffered. Everything was so different, but seems like the same. The weather was so nice that day, and I met my first friend in America. I knew that it is time to adapt to my new life on this land. Now, I'm a senior in Camden Catholic High School, and I'm ready for college. I have learned a lot of things during these 2 years. However, when someone asks me what would you do while facing racial discrimination, to be honest, I don't know. So I asked my best friend Uche for some advice. If I said something discriminates against you, what would you do to me? Are you gonna hit me? What's your reaction?
Wow, I will be surprised, and quite frankly, I will be angry, but I won't fight with you. I would want to know why you said that, because this is the 21st century, and I believe everybody is more educated, and the whole world is not isolated anymore. Everybody is coming in contact with other people. We all know for a fact now that most racial stereotypes are wrong. So for you to call another person by a racial name or act racist towards another person, it's a problem from you and not the other person, and you need help.
His answer let me put down the former stereotype and let me respect and love this friendship more. After school, exercise is an essential thing for me. I really like playing basketball, and also I made some Chinese friends in sport activity. The same language makes us more active in sport and learning. But there is one thing that keeps me in doubt. When we forget the name of something, we usually use that one instead. Here is a fun fact. The pronunciation of the word that one in Mandarin sounds like an word in English, which is rarely offensive against African Americans, but we don't do it intentionally. This often makes us feel embarrassing, so I asked my hall director that, what do you think about this?
It's an interesting thing. It's definitely a cultural difference. I know when you guys are all speaking Chinese and then trying to translate a word in English that quickly, it's kind of hard. It's something that that takes having to get adapted to. It's definitely a cultural difference. It's definitely something that we all need to get more knowledge on different cultures, so that way in the future we won't offend someone of a different culture, because we'll be more knowledgeable of their culture and not make any mistakes.
Since respect is mutual and necessary in life, and others have given us respect, we must also learn and understand different cultures. We also try to minimize the use of the word and avoid misunderstandings. In a globalized world, we need to eliminate stereotypes about others and embrace different cultures. Prejudice and discrimination often lie in ignorance in exchange for more estrangement and misunderstanding. We confronted with unfair treatment, it is the correct attitude to deal with racial discrimination by making its own voice and rational resistance so that more people can understand it.
People always ask me the difference of studying abroad. I tell him with confidence, I learned something outside the textbook, culture and skill for communication. That's why I'm here.